recently received an email from a viewer of this channel who said that he loved the practical advice that I gave around bathhouses, but he had some thoughts that he wanted to share, especially in regards to the many comments that I get on this channel from older viewers telling me how they never visited a bathhouse when they were younger, and now that they're 50 plus, it's too late for them to go. I have my Gay and Over 40 playlist here on the channel where I go into life as a gay man over 40. Interestingly enough, according to my back-end statistics, for about 60% of you, 40 is kind of young. And although I try as best as I can to bring a broad perspective to the topics of bathhouses and cruising, the truth is I can only speak from my experience and from my current age. So in this video, I will be sharing the ideas and concepts in the email that I received. So a big shout out to Robert from Richmond, Virginia for his detailed email sharing his perspective on bathhouses now that he is in his 70s. Our dear friend Robert is 75 years old. None of us are getting any younger, so let's dive right in. Okay, so as I mentioned, in this video, I am sharing someone else's ideas and thoughts to help broaden the conversation, which is similar to what I've started doing over on my OnlyFans, where I've asked my audience over there to share their spiciest encounters for me to read during my porn star bedtime stories. Erotica like you've never heard before. Found only on my OnlyFans page, on my website, linked in the description below. So in his email, Robert laid out the general advantages of going to a bathhouse versus trying to snag someone online with the apps. And I quote, "In contrast to a hookup app, a bathhouse lets you try something new. And if you don't like it, you have an easy, quick out. At this point in my life, it's more about chemistry than size. So I do not use apps, since if you arrive at my house and the chemistry or scent is off, I feel stuck. In a club atmosphere, if it doesn't work, it's easy to disengage with no hard feelings. If you've never been with a certain type of guy and you want to try it, but you don't want to be stuck going through with a scene that you end up not liking, then go to the baths." That's how Robert talks. He talks exactly like me. He goes on to say, he hasn't driven 20 minutes to be with a disinterested partner who's just going through the motions, and you both deserve a better. Robert, I couldn't agree more. Ain't nobody got time for that, and that is why I've done videos on this. I've talked about this before. The apps versus sauna or cruising. When you're chatting with somebody online, they could be gaslighting you. You have no idea. Even if the photos are recent, people still photograph different than how they look in real life. But a lot of times they're photoshopped. There's been some magic done. I mean, and you can't blame them. They're just playing the game, but still, it's not what shows up at the door. Not only that, the chatting. I mean, it's easy to be a certain persona behind the keyboard, but in real life, are they that way? And even if everything, they are their picture, they are exactly who they typed out to be in the chats, the door could swing open and there just could be no energy. There's no chemistry. The pheromones aren't there. And that's why I do everything in person. Thank you, Robert. I agree. And according to Robert, he says in the email, it's all about attitude. Quote, "Another bit of advice for newbies is attitude. If you walk around putting out, 'nobody will want to be with me' vibes, then guess what? Nobody will want to be with you. I have the advantage of experience and years, and I know that I'm a good sexual partner. But that's way different than arrogance, which is, you would be so lucky if I let you suck my." Again, could not agree more. Confidence is key. Confidence is so sexy. Arrogance is such a turnoff. I have seen really hot guys, and when they're arrogant, they're really ugly. Like, I just can't. Then you could see somebody who's not your type at all. And if they are just confident, there's a positivity and a confidence that just radiates off of them. You want to know more. Tell me more. If you are not a confident person or you don't believe it 100%, fake it till you make it, baby. You have every right to be confident. You are a wonderful, fantastic, beautiful person that deserves to be at the bathhouse, cruise in the park, and you deserve the best, and you should believe it. And hey, if you're enjoying this video, feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already, and hit that bell for notifications so you do not miss a thing. And if you're a fan who wants to support, you can become a member of the channel by finding the join button on the right-hand side of your screen. Thank you so much. Okay, this next part is so important. Robert writes, quote, "For older men, listen to me, guys. I know what I'm talking about. Yes, most people are drawn to attractive, fit people. But do not assume that because you don't have a porn star body, you are not fit and unattractive. Though I am in good shape for my age, an important qualification, I do not have a porn star body, and I routinely get hit on by guys the age of my sons. There are plenty of guys who love the daddy types, and plenty of young guys who want to be with someone who will spend the time to make love with them. And not just get it up, get it in, get it off. Because of my porn star past, because I have OnlyFans, because I do videos like this about bathhouses and cruising, there are a lot of assumptions around what I am attracted to. I've had people come up to me in bathhouses and like at the end of the night, I'm leaving, and then they get the courage to come up to me and say, oh, you're leaving. Oh, that's too bad. I liked you or whatever. And I was like, well, why didn't you say anything? Oh, I'm not your type. A lot of times, and I can attest to this too, I'm attracted to things that are opposite. I like opposite of me. That's what's interesting. That's where it's fitting the puzzle pieces together. And it goes back to having the confidence to approach people and just put it out there, because you don't know, and don't make assumptions. Okay, now if you don't take away anything else from this video, remember this next part. I call it the Goldilocksification of sexual type. And Robert says in the email, quote, "One of the things that sex clubs taught me is that while plenty of people think I'm hot, I'm also too old for some, too young for others, too fat for some, not enough meat on my bones for others, too hairy for some, too smooth for others." And Robert shared another story to highlight his point. Quote, "One night, maybe 20 years ago, I was at the crew club and it was jackpot night. The place was full of fit, attractive men in their 40s and 50s, men who like that type, plus one 20-something gym buddy. Poor dear, he was used to being the hot property at every bar and party, and that night, nobody gave him a second look. A sex club is like a buffet. You won't like everything, and that's okay." And now finally, Robert touches on something that maybe I don't spend enough time talking about, which is the idea of safety. And not as in theft, because I have touched on that, but also as in bodily safety, which I believe as the clubs open up to gender diversity, this will continue to become an even more important topic of discussion. So Robert writes, that's hard to say, Robert writes, quote, "One time in my life when a scene felt like it might be getting out of control, I was reassured that we did not have acoustic privacy. And if I needed to yell help, I would have gotten it. In a private house, if things go wrong, it might be very different." I don't know if you know this, I have a podcast called True Gay Crime, and I can't tell you how many of those crimes / murders happen with hookups. So people meeting on the apps, or people meeting at a club and then going to a secluded location like their home, their apartment, and then that's where they get murdered. When you're in the bathhouse, you're in a public space. You might be in your room, but like Robert mentioned, you could yell out for help if you needed it. When you're in your private residence, anything can happen. Door unlocked, ass up. So I want to say a huge thank you again to Robert for allowing me to share his thoughts and experiences with you. You know, something I really believe in is authenticity, and his message comes from someone who's been there, they've done that, and they're reporting back from the front lines. Someone who is 75 years old, who has seen a lot, experienced a lot, and is willing to share that with us. And that is why I hope that this message was heard, and that wherever you are in your journey of self-acceptance, confidence building, or sexual exploration, that this video has maybe helped shift you in the right direction. Because life is a journey with no finish line. There just never comes a point where you're like, all right, I got it all figured out. I'm perfect. I am done. That's a lesson that I had to learn myself, that we have to continually work to improve ourselves, and even the lessons that we learn along the way, we need to be reminded of them every so often. Acceptance of yourself exactly as you are right now, not how you want to be or how you think you should be, just how you are right in this exact moment. Complete acceptance of yourself shows itself as confidence to others. And there is nothing more attractive than a confident person. Remember, no one has it all figured out, but if we continue sharing our stories, insights, experience, and knowledge, we can all improve ourselves one little bit at a time. I love you guys. Hey, if you are still watching, I want to say a huge thank you for the support. It's all appreciated by showing up, by commenting, or even becoming a patron. Patrons of my channel get advanced access to videos, behind-the-scenes content, and monthly video chats with me. And for a deeper dive, why not sign up for my newsletter? It's absolutely free and full of discounts on fun stuff for you to enjoy. For all the ways that you can support, just go to patrickmarano.com. It's linked in the description below. And I will see you in the next video. Mwah!